All right, guys, welcome back to another video of Shaman J. So today we're going to be doing a follow-up video on the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, I've had the Pixel 6 for quite a while now, but I've had the Pixel 6 Pro a little bit longer, and this seems to be the favorite of a lot of people who want to go pro. They want the upgraded screen, the battery, the cameras. They want all of those things, and I don't disagree. This is a phenomenal device. Now, first things first, I've been posting a lot of wallpapers online that I've been creating myself, but this is actually a stock Google wallpaper. So if you want this wallpaper, go into wallpapers, you change it, go down to art, scroll to the bottom, and then you'll see it right there in the center, or depending on where yours is at. So that is how you get this particular wallpaper. You can actually adjust it. As you can see here, I moved it over a little bit, slide left and right, and I moved it over to give it a different look on the Pixel 6. So these devices are doing fantastic, man. I haven't had any more problems at all. Like the Studio app, it's done crashing. There's no problems with it. The last time I gave you a report on like some issues with this, there was some issues with the Studio app and just overall things with Android 12, I would say. And the developers are getting them updated. Now, Android, the December patch is available. Here it is on the 5A, and here it is on the 4A. And also, if you have the 4XL, the list is out there. So you just need to go to the YouTube site and you'll see that, they're telling you, hey, these are the devices that are going to get it right now. And the Pixel 6 devices get the update later this month. So, but even without that update, these phones have been running great. And when does the real review actually start? Well, to me, the review starts after you've used the phone for at least a month, like those first impressions that we give. And I guess not review, but the real thoughts on the device. It's kind of the long term of having a device, having a device for a long time and watching it get better over time. That's actually, to me, the real review. Because if you're using these, and I am using both of these along with my iPhone 13 Pro Max, those are currently like my full-time let's go somewhere devices. Grab the backpack, grab the satchel, whatever you carry yours in, one in the pocket, two in the back, and you roll out. So yeah, these are my go-to phones, obviously. So Google sent over the Pixel 6 Pro to a lot of creators, and then I purchased the Pixel 6. I'm fortunate enough and blessed to be a part of Team Pixel, and with that, you get the ability to bless with some current devices that are coming out. They sent over the 4A, they sent over the 5A, they sent over the 5, they sent over the 4XL, they sent over the 3, they sent over all of their devices to me, and I appreciate them doing so. So great gift from Google. But with all that aside, using devices, what are they like? So with me, it's been recording videos and I've actually, normally I'd be using my iPad Mini 6, but I decided to switch it up. I liked what I've been seeing from OnePlus, so I decided to go ahead and start using the OnePlus 9 Pro to record more content on the channel, and that's exactly what's recording this. Now, the reason I like the OnePlus 9 Pro is their microphones are on point. I don't have to do any editing in post. It just goes through. And in this video, I just want to upload it to YouTube. This is just a basic conversation video from me about the devices, smartphoneconversations.com. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already done so. And that is one thing I like about the OnePlus devices. Their microphones are great, man. They don't require any editing in post or anything. And then the quality of video is actually pretty good for top-down shots. I've only tried it a couple of times and it didn't turn out too well back in the day, but that was because of my lighting. Getting your lighting right, you can get fantastic footage. And that's why I'm talking about that with these two devices. The Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro for sure have fantastic video. I've compared this device to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the other daily driver, and in some of the instances when comparing the video, the iPhone took it, and some of the situations, the Pixel took it. And if you haven't already seen my video on Smartphone of the Year, it's a wrap. To me, there is no best that I can guarantee you're going to have a great experience with when it comes to smartphones, because the fact is smartphones are getting fantastic, man. In 2021, the bar has been set really high, and I will give credit to Google for that. They set the bar high with both of these devices. These devices come in and undercut all the other smartphones on the market that are considered flagships by a long shot, by at least $300. So that's something to be desired if you want a very powerful device. Now, the Pixel 6 Pro is, I think it's a lot of people's favorites because of that bigger battery. But in reality, I'm actually getting about the same battery, if not a little bit better battery on my Pixel 6. Why that is, it could be the high refresh rate. I do leave it up, all the way up. This is 90 hertz and this is 120 hertz. I do leave it up. I don't use my phones on full brightness like some people do, but you know, the power and performance of the phones to me are identical. They have the Tensor chip. This does have 12 gigs of RAM. This has 8, but I don't see that much difference in performance. So the Pro model though might draw people in because of the larger screen. It is actually a curved display also. And I actually kind of like that. I used to not like curved displays, but this display is beautiful, man. I mean, the flat display is nice and everything, but you know, the curved display to me just looks better. And, you know, the borders look thinner. You know, the overall footprint looks like it's just got a small body with a big screen. And, you know, having the flat display is cool and everything, but, you know, I do like a narrow device. And this device right here is fairly nice in the hand, man. It's really nice. It slopes a little bit on the back. And you do have this large camera bump right here. Let me clean it up. You do have this large camera bump, which is fine. With me, I think the two-tone design of this device is actually really nice. Some people, believe it or not, are just now getting their Pixels. Oh my gosh. And you think about it, this is why I say the review phase really can't start too soon for regular consumers, because they have to wait. They have to wait on stock inventory. Even I had to wait a little bit for my Pixel 6, but I got in there at the nick of time. I had to cancel my order a couple times because I used the wrong information, and then I still was able to get in there and grab this color with the earbuds that I wanted, and I was excited about that, but I had to wait a little bit. So I know what it's like to wait on the device. And when it comes to the hardware, like I said, the dislike for this to me is just the glossiness. You know, I did have skins on here. Shout out to SophieGuard.com. That's the place to grab your skins. But these are such beautiful devices. The only thing I really would want to do is put a clear matte one on there just for a little bit of grip. Because these are beautiful. And, you know, the camera bar, yeah, that's another one. I need to put my camera bar back, skin back on this camera bar. I have one on this device right here, and I really like it. So I need to put one back on here. But just the overall hardware on these devices are beautiful. Now I have other devices that I feel like the hardware is better. But still, the look of this, the design, I guess I should say, Google has won a lot of people over. This is a beautiful design, and it is definitely a switch from the style that they, you know, were doing before. This style right here. This is their old generation style right here, using the devices like this. This is a beautiful style because it's matte and then it has a fingerprint reader on the back, you know, so I like this style right here, and it was never really ugly to me. Some people hated that style. I personally did not. I thought it was a good style. I still think it's a good style. But this design right here is just absolutely beautiful, man. It's a beautiful design. If my voice was traveling a little bit, I was kind of looking over there, but it's a beautiful design. Both of these are beautiful. Now, granted, I do like the white colors a little bit better. This green and silver looking white color is beautiful. Has that nice matte sides on it. The reason I like this color better than the Sunny is because of the edges. That's it. You know, that big pink looking part on the top, or coral looking color, or floral looking color. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. But the powers that be, cha-ching, you know, wave the magic wand. I don't believe in magic, but you wave it and then boom, you're fortunate enough to get a different color. So some people didn't like the colors. They had, you know the drill. So I think the best color though is probably going to be the silver color, but I don't think I would like those shiny sides. So this color ultimately ends up being just a beast mode color combination in total. But I think this color and that coral color are the best looking of all the colors. I think this is the #1 color, and then second would be the Pixel 6, again with that coral looking color, and then the darker colors, and then yeah. So again, hardware, beautiful combinations. They did it right, but a con again is that slipperiness. Not really a fan of that. So yeah, and another con that people have. Let me unlock it real quick. Another con that people have is the fingerprint reader. I personally I never complained about the fingerprint reader. I just would just put my finger on there, and if you lift your finger too fast, this is stupid to me. This is the stupid thing I see people doing with the Pixel. And they're saying it's a horrible fingerprint reader that's not accurate. It clearly has a message down there, just hold your finger a little longer. You know, I've already said it that, you know, the Pixel devices, the fingerprint readers may not be the fastest, but they're accurate. These are accurate fingerprint readers, period. they are accurate. And when people were complaining about the Pixel 6 Pro and the fingerprints trash, I saw some of the most silliest reasons that people were saying they sent theirs back. Fingerprint reader being the top one. Oh, the bugs, but the fingerprint reader is trash, the battery's horrible. Well, we're talking about somebody who had the phone for a day or two probably, or less than a week out. So I'll give them even that. They had it less than a week and they sent it back out of frustration with the fingerprint reader. Now, personally, that is a weird reason I personally think, to send a phone back because the fingerprint reader isn't fast enough. But if it's not accurate, that's different. Like when I put my matte screen protector on here, it totally erased. I couldn't even use the fingerprint reader. I took the matte screen protector off. But it's not that the fingerprint readers were bad, in my humble opinion. They just weren't fast as what people were using or used to. Everybody was like, oh, the ultrasonic is what they should have done. All these experts come out, oh, you should have done this. Google should have done this. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion about something. But personally, I think people just, when these phones dropped, I think people just tried to find a reason to burn them. I think they tried to find a reason to just trash on Google because they knew Google was going to bring the thunder when it came to the pricing and the combination of value to consumers. Value to consumers, to people who want flagship devices. Folks, this is a flagship. You don't have to accept that if you don't want to, but these phones are identical. How could this one not be a flagship because it has a 1080p display? That's the silliest thing ever. That's just dumb to me. These phones are pretty much identical with the exception of 4 gigs of RAM and a Quad HD display. You know, with the 90 hertz versus 120. Those are so small, they have the same internals. Now, would I have liked to have seen a Quad HD display over here? Yes, but I would have wanted a curved display over here too, because it makes the phone feel even thinner and, you know, it makes it look like it's falling off the sides. Those are just personal preferences, but for the people that said the fingerprint reader was garbage and they sent it back for that reason, or mine was so buggy that I just couldn't do it, these phones weren't that buggy, man. I just think people, you know, and that's just me saying, I'm not saying that's correct and that is the reason and I'm right. I'm just saying I didn't buy into that nonsense. I think people just wanted to get the phone because if you say the word Pixel, let me go ahead and be all the way 100 for a second. If you're a creator and you just say the word Pixel 6 in your content, boom, views off the charts. Views off the charts. If you were covering the Pixel 6, all of your videos should have taken off. And that's the thing about being a creator. You follow the current trends, and you know, if you do it right, your videos will get attention. And sometimes that's all people wanted was attention. You know, oh, I'm returning my Pixel 6 for this. Sent the Pixel 6 back because of this. Then turn around and buy it again. I mean, it's a trip, man. I mean, we've all kind of done that at some point or another, like buying the same device. But I'm returning my device for this reason, those videos are super lame and they're seriously just clickbait. Android user switches to iPhone. iPhone user switches to Android. Those are all clickbait videos, folks. And the Pixel 6 became a clickbait target for the bugs. People making videos about saying the phone was full of bugs. That's all bogus, folks. The phone was not full of bugs. The fingerprint reader is what people couldn't agree on. Some people said it was too slow. Some people said it wasn't accurate. The fact is, everybody was pretty much having a different experience. And some people said, oh, you just downplaying it. You can't tell people they're not having a problem. Sure, I can. I just said it right now. I'm saying it again. Those people were over-exaggerating. The Pixel 6 fingerprint readers were not horrible and were not trash. There are plenty of people out there besides myself debunking this. Check out my man Grant Likes Tech and several other people show the fingerprint reader just like I do. It's not fast, but it is accurate. Even I went on record and said the device I'm recording with, the OnePlus 9 Pro and my OnePlus 9 have much faster fingerprint readers than these devices right here. But these fingerprint readers are accurate, and that's what matters. You have to hold it down a little bit longer, so what? Now, using this device daily, we already know that the cameras are good, but quality and the tones and stuff like that, people are that's all subjective. You know, I posted a lot of stuff on Instagram and other social media sites, putting this phone in comparison to the 13 Pro Max. And some people instantly just chose the Pixel because they just like Pixels. I don't even think they really even looked at those photos because in one of the photos, I preferred the iPhone. You know, some people just said iPhone. The same thing. Some people just said iPhone because they like iPhones or they like the phone itself. They didn't really bother to really inspect the photos, you know? So over time using these phones, and I am using these, I've learned that the battery seems to have gotten a little bit better. Yes, they share a role in my pocket with one other device for a daily ride. However, the predominance, the one that gets the most use is probably the 6 Pro, because I can do that 4 times zoom for some things, and they just come out great. I posted a picture the other day of cinnamon roll that someone complimented. Somebody thought that was a Cinnabon. That was my wife made the cinnamon rolls, and I just took that photo and posted it online. I actually took the same photo with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but I didn't post it because I just wanted people to see the Pixel 6 Pro's cameras cannot be labeled as they're good, but this is just, they're not as good as so-and-so. I wanted to show, and I try to keep showing them in a certain light by posting certain photos of how great they are. Now, one thing about the cameras that I've learned to not like, and I tend to struggle a little bit, and I'm saying me, I struggle with this, is getting a photo without a portrait style background. Sometimes I don't want that, and it just happens. And, credit the big sensor, credit it however you want to credit it, their algorithm for taking photos. I just want a regular photo sometimes, and sometimes I cannot do that. Now, one thing is for sure that some people now are caught up on this iPhone 13 Pro Max or 13 Pro, where you can get macro video and macro photos. This is now a thing all of a sudden because macro shots now are super important because this phone started to do it. The fact is, so many other companies have done macro shots. I haven't seen very many macro video, I'll be honest. But macro shots and super macro shots are not new, folks. But you guys allow Apple to be the trendsetter. And that's just what it is. So Google, while it does not have macro video, you can probably get a good macro shot with ease. But sometimes the photos on my Pixel 6 and 6 Pro are not as good as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's just a fact. And, sometimes vice versa, this phone has better photos than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Video, though, I think I've been a little bit transparent about, I've been very transparent about that and saying that these video cameras are good in certain situations, but I think the iPhone has the more consistent video. And there's a lot of advantages to the iPhone. I can record unlimited. I can do ProRes. When I compared the Pro 6 Pro to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I was totally open about that, and I gave it to you as best I could. Like, I tried to be as open as I could. This phone did better in some situations, but this phone gets ahead now, man. These video cameras can do ProRes, even if I don't use ProRes a lot. And you also have macro video, and you have these certain things that this phone could do that this phone just can't do. And we're not going to deny the fact that the Apple has some very consistent cameras and video quality is on point. It's just what it is. But the video cameras on here are great too. But I think for extended use for recording on the channel, the microphones are definitely really good on here compared to the iPhone. But some situations, the iPhone just does it better. It has the cinematic video. It's just certain things like that, man. You can't deny these things. So my experience with the Pixel 6 Pro, and it's just been great, man. I love the way the hardware feels. I like wearing it without a case. I currently use the case that Google sent over because I think it's just the best fit right now. And I'm going to get a Bellroy more than likely. That's what I'm waiting on, to get a Bellroy. But I want the colors that I want. I'm just going to drop $60 just because I can. You know what I mean? So these phones are fantastic. The Pixel 6 Pro has been phenomenal. It's overall, the pros outweigh the cons. And that's the way you have to look at it sometimes when you're checking out a device. Review phase is starting because we've gotten updates on here. I think, 5 years of security patches or something like that, or 5 years of updates or whatever it is. I don't really dig into that too much because I just want the phones to work. I want them to last. And I try to give consumers an opportunity to see what it's like if you hold on to a device for a long time, and that's just what it is. So the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, folks, fantastic devices. You cannot go wrong with either one of these. Again, if you haven't seen my device of the year video, be sure to check that out. I think you would probably be surprised if you haven't seen it. No spoilers in this video, folks. For the people that have not seen it, no spoilers though. But the device of the year, just have to check it out. You have to check it out. I think Google has done a fantastic job at targeting everyone for a certain device, but I think this device right here probably is one that people would be drawn to because of the price. And I'll be the first one to tell you, you know, the Pixel 6, man, you don't want to ignore this device, man. It's a whole bunch of value here, a whole bunch. And I want you to experience it. So what do I think about these two phones? Fantastic, hands down. It's been great.